Mr. Clerk, call the roll.
Gray.
Yes.
Jerem.
Here.
Stothard. Thompson.
Here.
Festerson is absent. Mulligan is absent. Mr. President.
Here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and would you remain standing for the invocation by Councilmember Franklin Thompson?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First of all, I'd like to have a moment of silence for the Cunningham family, bereavement for a loved one, which includes our own city planner, Rick Cunningham. Second, I'd like to say a prayer for our workers. Father in heaven, just touch them the same way that you've done throughout history, being able to take a little bit and spread it a long way. And we thank you for those workers who put in many, many hours and helped us with the flooding and all the emergencies, and just give them an extra blessing, an extra portion of reward. And we thank you, Lord, for the fact that we have been safe so far and that we have not experienced what other cities have experienced. Thank you. Amen.
City Clerk certified publication in the Daily Record on June 24th. Note for a pre-council and regular City Council meeting June 28, 2011. A current copy of the Open Meetings Act is posted in white binder on the east wall of the legislative chambers.
If you have a cell phone or a pager, we ask that you turn it off or to vibrate. Mr. Clerk, first item.
Pursuant to City Council Rule 7H, due to no meeting being held July 5th, agenda item number 5 through 6 shall be laid over 3 weeks to July 19th for publication and public hearing. Pursuant to City Council Rule 7H, agenda item number 7 shall be laid over 3 weeks to July 19th, 2011. Item number 8 under liquor, Westwood Heights Golf Course, 12929 West Center Road, a Class I liquor license, new application, new location. You have one communications opposing.
Public hearing on item number 8 begins now. Are there any proponents?
I'm Terry Heskett, 6232 Pacific Street, manager, Westwood Golf Course, City of Omaha.
Thank you. Are there any other proponents? Any opponents? Public hearing's closed. Roll call.
Gray?
Yes.
Jerem?
Yes.
Stothard?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. President?
Yes.
It's approved 5-0. Item number 9, Doubletree Hotel downtown. Request permission to appoint Michael Casala, manager of the present Class C liquor license.
Public hearing on item number 9 begins now. Are there any proponents?
Michael Kasalka, 5803 Orchard Avenue, Omaha, Nebraska.
Thank you. Are there any other proponents? Any opponents? Public hearing's closed. Roll call.
Gray?
Yes.
Jerem?
Yes.
Stothard?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. President?
Yes.
It's approved 5-0. Item number 10, Big Jim's Pub, 3024 Ames Avenue. Request permission to appoint Joyce Warren, manager.
Public hearing on item number 10 begins now. Are there any proponents?
Joyce Warren, 6050 Country Club, Oaks Place.
Thank you. Any other proponents? Any opponents? Public hearing's closed.
Second.
Roll call.
Gray?
Yes.
Jerem?
Yes.
Stothard?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. President?
Yes.
Approved 5-0. Item number 11, Brass Monkey Sports Bar, 5611 South 36th Street. Request permission for a special designated license for a beer garden on July 23rd from 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. with music until 2 a.m.
Public hearing on item number 11 begins now. Are there any proponents?
Kevin Twarg, 5611 South 36th Street.
Thank you. Are there any other proponents? Any opponents? Public hearing's closed. Kevin, will you be amendable to stopping the music at midnight as opposed to 2
No
a.m.?
problem.
All right.
Motion approved, subject to close.
Well, let's just amend it to midnight.
So moved.
Second. Are we clear on the amendment, Mr.
Yes,
Clerk?
we are.
Roll call.
Gray.
Yes.
Jerem.
Yes.
Stothard.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Mr. President.
Yes.
Thank you.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Gray.
Yes.
Jerem.
Yes.
Stothard.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Mr. President.
Yes.
It's approved as amended, 7-0. Item number 12 is Old Mattress Factory Bar and Grill, 501 North 13th Street. Request permission for a special designated license for a beer garden on June 30th through July 4th from 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. with music until 2 a.m.
Public hearing on item number 12 begins now. Are there any proponents?
Good afternoon. Mark Annenbach, 1601 Dodge Street, on behalf of the Old Mattress Factory Bar and Grill. Along with me is Pete Violi, 555 North 13th Street, who's the general manager of the Old Mattress Factory Bar and Grill.
Thank you. Are there any other proponents? Any opponents? Public hearing's closed. Gentlemen, I know that your dates are inclusive on a couple of major celebrations downtown during that time period, and your request is for music to end at 2 a.m., and we've typically asked applicants to cut the music off at midnight. Would you be amenable to that?
The first application we have is for this weekend, and it's for the fireworks festival on Saturday night. And the fireworks, as I understand it, will commence around 10 o'clock and will not be finished until 10:30. And so to have a band for an hour and a half probably would not be that, not make much sense, sir. We'd certainly be willing to move that back until 1 o'clock if the council was amenable to that.
Mr. Gray?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. Tell me a little bit about, I think I know most of the surroundings in the area there, but tell me, because I know we've had one complaint. I don't think it was from your establishment, but there has been one complaint down there. So there is a little bit of a concern about keeping it open until 2. And I wouldn't support 2. I would be more willing to support 1 o'clock, but I just want to get some feedback as to, the neighbors surrounding you, the client, who's around you and so forth, and if you think that would be a problem.
Well, generally, of course, the Hilton to the Caddy Corner, and then to the north, slow down in those establishments, and the hotels on Cummings Street. There's few, if any, residential areas, I believe, sir, within the 2 or 3 block proximity to that.
Okay. I would be willing to amend it to 1 o'clock and see if I get a second on that. But I'd be willing to amend it to 1 o'clock. I wouldn't want to go till 2.
I understand. That's reasonable.
Okay. All right. I make a motion to amend to 1 o'clock.
Mr. Thompson?
Thank you, Mr. President. Paul Kratz. Paul Kratz, City Attorney. Paul, this morning in pre-council, I had brought up the idea of something I've been working on a long time, which is I think we need some kind of entertainment zone downtown. But then you reminded me that hotels had some problems. Could you expound on that a little bit more?
Just like Mr. Gray mentioned there, at least during the last week or so, there's been one hotel that's complained, and it's really with respect to another bar. I think if we're going to get into a later music time, we just need to consider how that'll impact the hotels, which way the music is going to face, like Mr. Annenbach stated, what's in between their music and the other places. Are the residents there? Those are things that need to be considered. And the decision as to what time is up to you, but just consider those type of items.
Are we setting any kind of dangerous precedent by having one exception to our general rule?
You never know. I guess, obviously, if you do it here, and I think you've done it a few other times, too. This wouldn't be the only time. But the council's kind of stuck to the midnight most of the times.
Well, this council has stuck with 12. The previous council has made exemptions. Buster?
Buster Brown, City Clerk, you did make one exception.
We made one?
For the College World Series. It was 1 o'clock for College World Series.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. We have a motion for a 1 a.m. ending of the music. I don't hear a second. It will die for the lack of a second. We have a second?
There was a second, yes.
I apologize to whoever made the second. I'm sorry. We have a motion and a second for approval with music stopping at 1 a.m. Is that accurate, Mr. Clerk?
Yes, sir.
No further lights. Roll call.
Gray?
Yes.
Jerem?
Yes.
Stothard?
No.
Thompson?
No.
Mr. President?
No.
Motion to approve 12 o'clock closing. 12 o'clock meeting.
Thank you.
Roll call.
Gray?
Yes.
Jerem?
Yes.
Stothard?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. President?
Yes.
Now as amended?
As amended.
Second. Roll call.
Gray?
Yes.
Jerem?
Yes.
Stothard?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. President?
Yes.
Approved as amended to 12, 5-0. Item number 13, Omaha Mattress Factory Bar and Grill, 501 North 13th Street, request permission for a special business license for a beer garden on July 18th through the 23rd, 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. with no music.
Public hearing on item number 13 begins now. Are there any proponents?
Good afternoon, Mark Annenbach, 1601 Dodge Street, on behalf of the Omaha Mattress Factory Bar and Grill.
Thank you. Are there any other proponents? Any opponents? Public hearing is closed.
Second.
Roll call.
Gray?
Yes.
Jerem? Stothard? Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. President?
Yes.
It's approved 5-0. We'll take items 14 through 16 together. They're all Keno operators. 14 is a resolution that Big Red Keno is granted approval for a satellite location at Ryan's Bistro, 17607 Gold Plaza, Suite 107. 15 is the O-Bar, 15660 West Center Road. And 16 is Pop's Place, 3520 F Street.
Public hearing on items 14 through 16 begin now. Are there any proponents?
Yes, Mr. President, members of the council, my name's Katrina Coffey. I'm Vice President of Marketing for Big Red Keno. We're located at 11248 John Galt Boulevard. I have with me all the owners of the three establishments before you, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you. Are there any other proponents? Any opponents? Public hearing's closed.
Motion approved.
Second. Roll call.
Gray?
Yes.
Jerem?
Yes.
Stothard?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. President?
Yes.
Thank you.
They're all adopted, 5-0. Any member of the City Council may cause an item placed on the consent agenda to be removed. Items removed from consent agenda should be taken up by City Council immediately following the consent agenda in the order in which they were removed unless otherwise provided by the City Council Rules of Order.
The public hearings on agenda item number 17 through 18 were held on June 21st. We have a motion? Roll call?
Gray?
Yes.
Jerem?
Yes.
Stothard?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes, with the condition that on 18 I will not be voting for any
Mr. President?
Yes.
They're passed 5-0.
Public hearings on agenda items 19 through 27 begin now. Are there any proponents? 19 through 27. Any proponents? Any opponents? Public hearing's closed.
Motion approved.
Roll call?
Gray?
Yes.
Jerem? Stothard?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. President?
Yes.
They're all adopted 5-0. Pursuant to City Council Rule 7H, the third reading and public hearing on agenda items 28 through 31 shall be held on July 12th. Pursuant to City Council Rule 7H, the third reading on agenda items 32 through 34 shall be held on July 12th. The public hearing on these items are today. Ordinance on second reading, Plan Board attachments, item 32, ordinance to approve the North Omaha Village Revitalization Plan for the City of Omaha, located in an area generally Pratt Street on the north, Cummings Street on the south, 16th Street on the east, and 36th Street on the west. A, Planning Board and Planning Department recommend approval.
Public hearing on item number 32 begins now. Are there any proponents? Any opponents? Mr. Gray.
Thank you, Mr. President. As is, most of us are just coming back from Minneapolis, and we're a little bit, and we had mentioned earlier to them that we were going to have the public hearing on July 12th. If it would be okay with my colleagues, I would like to continue the public hearing to July 12th when most of our people would be
You
back.
make a motion to continue public hearing on third reading?
Yes.
We have a motion and a second. No further lights? Roll call?
Gray?
Yes.
Jerem?
Yes.
Stothard?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. President?
Yes.
The hearing is continued to third reading. Item number 33, ordinance to accept for public purposes and use the Metropolitan Utilities District conveyance of 3 parcels of real property, 20229 Hooper Street, 20706 Flynn Street, and north and northwest corner of the intersection of West Maple Road and 204th Street.
Public hearing on item number 33 begins now. Are there any proponents? Any opponents? Public hearing's closed. Next item.
Item 34, ordinance to accept the agreement between the city and Douglas County Board of Commissioners on behalf of the Douglas County Sheriff's Office to purchase ballistic testing equipment.
Public hearing on item number 34 begins now. Are there any proponents? Any opponents? Public hearing's closed.
Financial statement and independent audit report. The Land Reutilization Commission of Douglas County transmits their general purpose financial statement for the year ending December 31st, 2010, and the independent audit report.
Motion to receive and place on file.
Second. No lights. Roll call.
Gray?
Yes.
Jerem? Stothard? Thompson? Mr. President?
Yes.
Pursuant to City Council Rule 7H, the third reading and public hearing on agenda items number 36 shall be held on July 19th. Pursuant to City Council Rule 7H, the second reading and public hearing on agenda items 37 through 47 shall be held on July 12th. Item number 48, an ordinance approve the application for and acceptance of the award of the United States Department of Justice grant, partnership with Douglas County. We have communications from the mayor requesting withdrawal of this agenda item.
Second.
Roll call.
Gray?
Yes.
Jerem?
Yes.
Stothard? Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. President?
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn. Second. Roll call.
Gray?
Yes.
Jerem?
Yes.
Stothard?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. President?
Thanks, everyone.